for our top story here on 5 Like. Unlike the cold it is meant to cure, the debate over the ubiquitous cough syrup is turning out to be anything but common. As we speak, at least 11 deaths of children have been reported across 2 states, with 2 deaths being confirmed in Rajasthan and a whopping 9 deaths being reported in Madhya Pradesh's Chhindwara district. And this is just over the past fortnight. Remember, we've been continuously bringing you updates on the story for the past 4 days. Dozens more children have fallen critically ill. All of them had one thing in common. They were given a cough syrup containing what is now called dextromethorphan hydrobromide, just DM if you want for reference sake. A formulation that was sold even after the 40 quality tests that it went on to failed completely. But here's where things get really bizarre and answers have not been achieved. The Cdsco, sources have told India Today. Cdsco is basically a body that checks and keeps a check on all these drugs that are floated out. They have told India Today that until now, their testings have found no contamination of cough syrup samples in Madhya Pradesh. They go on to claim that all the reports of syrup contamination were unsubstantiated and baseless. Furthermore, the NCDC blood reports of nearly 500 people have also reported to be negative of any infectious disease in Madhya Pradesh. What does this mean? This means that when government tests were carried out, they found the samples to be okay, and they did not find any infection in the samples of the people which were collected, 500 people in Madhya Pradesh. So what led to these deaths? Did no one kill these children? What happened there? We still do not know. So let's get this straight. If the authorities in MP in Madhya Pradesh are to be believed, the cough syrups are safe, nobody is even infected. So have these 9 children dropped dead out of their own accord? Is this not an absolute height of shamelessness, sort of shirking accountability in the face of a looming health crisis? What exactly is going on? Let's tell you what's happening in Rajasthan. Rajasthan cough syrup stories, where we are getting the update that Keson's Pharma, remember we've been telling you about this name for the past 2 days as well, that company has also now passed the drug test. Sources from the health department say overdose is to be blamed for the deaths. There was nothing wrong in those cough syrups at all, which is absolutely bizarre to say the least, because not just have kids died because of those cough syrups, but a senior health official who took the cough syrup himself after there were some protests and questions by the parents, he also collapsed. So what exactly is happening here when report after report, anecdote after anecdote, case study after case study on the ground seems to be pointing towards a contamination, but all tests are coming out absolutely clean? What's the story here? Where does the truth lie? Let's break it open with our reporters now. Sharat Kumar joins us live from Jaipur. He's covering the Rajasthan aspect of this story, and Milan Sharma is here with us in Delhi, tracking all the details from Madhya Pradesh. Sharat, to you first. तो हम पिछले 4 दिन से इसके बारे में बात कर रहे हैं और हम कॉन्स्टेंटली यही बात बता रहे हैं लोगों को कि ये कॉफ सिरप इज टू बी ब्लेम्ड, बट अब जो टेस्ट निकल कर आया है उसमें सरकार कह रही है कि कॉफ सिरप बिल्कुल ठीक था। तो ये बच्चों की मौत कैसे हुई? जो सरकारी वहाँ पर एक डॉक्टर था जिसने वो कॉफ सिरप खुद पी और वो बेहोश हो गया, उसके साथ भी कुछ नहीं हुआ। ये कैसे जस्टिफाई कर रहे हैं रिपोर्ट?
देखिए सोनल, मैं तो पिछले जिस दिन से घटना सामने आई उस दिन से जो मैं ड्रग कंट्रोलर हैं उनसे संपर्क में हूं, और पहले दिन से मुझे लग गया था कि क्लीन चिट देने वाले हैं। ये घुमा फिरा के मुझे यही समझा रहे थे कि कंपनी का कोई दोष नहीं है, ये तो डॉक्टर हैं वो गलत देते हैं। और कल रात को उन्होंने वही किया, डॉक्टर को देश दे दिया, डॉक्टर को निलंबित कर दिया, फार्मासिस्ट को निलंबित कर दिया। हम ये आज जब क्लीन चिट उन्होंने दिया है तो हम लगातार स्वास्थ्य मंत्रालय में बैठे रहे कि कोई तो कहे कि हम क्लीन चिट दे रहे हैं। आप देखिएगा, मैं माइक लेकर लगातार 5 मिनट तक ड्रग कंट्रोल से पूछ रहा हूं कि आप हमारे माइक पर कहिए कि हम क्लीन चिट दे रहे हैं, वो कह रहे हैं मैं कुछ नहीं बोलूँगा। इतना नैतिक साहस, मोरल करेज नहीं है। सवाल मैं यही पूछना चाह रहा था कि जब 40 सैंपल किसी कंपनी के फेल हुए हैं तो ऐसी क्या मजबूरी है कि उसी कंपनी के कप सिरप को आप खरीदने पर आमादा हैं? और वो जो डॉक्टर त्यागी हैं जिन्होंने कप सिरप पिया, जब बच्चा बेहोश हुआ तो उन्होंने पिया और वो 40 से अस्पताल में भर्ती रहे, वो लगातार 2 दिन से हमारे भरतपुर के रिपोर्टर सुरेश फौजदार जा रहे हैं सीएससी में, वो सीएससी नहीं आ रहे हैं। जयपुर में वो रह रहे हैं, फोन नहीं उठा रहे हैं। उनके वो नेपथ्य में है, आप उनके बारे में कुछ बता नहीं रहे हो। तो कुल मिलाकर कहीं ना कहीं लग रहा है कि सब कुछ सही नहीं है राजस्थान में।
शरद, तो मैं समझने की कोशिश कर रही हूँ। बहुत क्लियरली जो समझ में आया है वो ये है कि बच्चों को कॉफ सिरप, उन 2 बच्चों की हम बात करें राजस्थान की, उन दोनों को कॉफ सिरप दिया गया और कॉफ सिरप के बाद उनकी ब्रीदिंग स्लो डाउन करके हिकअप्स आए और उसके बाद द किड्स पास्ड अवे। एक तो अस्पताल तक पहुंच पाया था, एक अस्पताल तक पहुंच भी नहीं पाया था। हम इससे डॉक्टर के बारे से भी बात करेंगे, लेकिन क्या ये पॉसिबल है कि बिना कंटैमिनेशन की सिर्फ एक दवाई के ओवरडोज से किसी बच्चे की मौत हो जाए? खराब तबीयत होना समझ में आता है, पर मौत हो जाए ऐसा क्या कभी भी हमने सुना है?
हम यही सवाल उनसे जानना चाह रहे थे कि जब आप इस दवा को पहले से खरीद रहे हो तो अचानक से ऐसा क्या हुआ कि इस दवा से लोग बेहोश होने लगे, इस दवा से बच्चे मरने लगे? अचानक से डॉक्टर खराब हो गए, अचानक से फार्मासिस्ट खराब हो गए, अचानक से सीएससी पर बैठने वाला नर्सिंग स्टाफ खराब हो गया, दवा सही है और सारे स्टाफ राजस्थान के खराब हो गए। यही हम उनसे जानना चाह रहे थे, जिसका जवाब वो हमारे साथ नहीं देना चाह रहे हैं। इसीलिए उन्होंने रिपोर्ट हमें भेज दी और उसके बाद वो जवाब नहीं दे रहे हैं। बड़ा सवाल है कि ये दवाइयाँ तो पहले भी दी जाती रही हैं और ऐसा नहीं है कि दवा अचानक से डॉक्टर जो हैं वो बिना पढ़े लिखे हो गए और इस तरह से दवा पिलाने लगे। अब जब हेल्थ मिनिस्टर का बयान सुनिए, वो कह रहे हैं कि माँ बाप जो हैं वो दवा लेके जाते हैं और खांसी के नाम पर पिला देते हैं, उनको पता नहीं कितना पिलाना है, तो फिर बच्चा बेहोश होगा ही। तो हमारा डॉक्टर इसमें क्या कर सकता है? तो एक तरह से कहा जाए तो कि पूरा फोकस इन्हें माँ बाप पर डाल दिया और डॉक्टर फार्मासिस्ट पर डाल दिया। लेकिन सवाल है कि सारे माँ बाप अचानक से अभी ऐसा क्यों करने लगे? इन सवालों का जवाब जो हेल्थ मिनिस्टर को देना चाहिए, या हेल्थ मिनिस्ट्री को देना चाहिए, जो वो नहीं दे रहे हैं। और कुल मिला के क्लीन चिट दे दी है। अब इस सवाल का जवाब तो दे नहीं रहे हैं कि 40 बार इस कंपनी के सैंपल फेल हुए हैं, क्या मजबूरी है इस कंपनी से कब सिर्फ फिर से खरीदें आप?
Right. We also have Dr. Bhardwaj here with us. I'll go to her also in just a bit. But let's just put this story into a bit of a context. You just heard from Sharat on what he's saying about Rajasthan. But in view of the recent reports suggesting that child deaths in Madhya Pradesh were linked to consumption of cough syrups, a joint team consisting of leaders, a joint team also consisting of representative of the NCDC, that's the National Center of Disease Control, also of NIV, also of, which is the National Institute of Virology, of the Central Drug Standard Control Organization, Cdsco, which I've been saying. They all visited the site and various samples were collected in coordination with the state authorities, including the samples of the various cough syrups. So what happened there? Let's get a quick understanding from Milan there as well. So Milan, the bottom line here is that nobody knows what led to the deaths of these kids, because the samples are correct and there are no infectious diseases that have been found as well. So no one killed these deaths. No one killed these kids.
Well, Sonal, that is the question that remains hanging in the air, because we've just received a statement from the Union Health Ministry reacting on the deaths of children in Madhya Pradesh as well as in Rajasthan. And clearly, in a brief, I'll tell you, the statement says that as per the test results, none of the samples contain DEG, that is Diethylene Glycol, and Ethylene Glycol, which are contaminants known to cause serious kidney injury in the case of Madhya Pradesh. And they have said that one of the samples that they had sent to NIV Pune has been found to be positive for leptospirosis. Other than that, in fact, even in the case of Rajasthan, the statement of the Union Health Ministry there is saying that the product in question does not contain propylene glycol, which has been potential source of contaminants, or the DEG or EG. So additionally, the product under reference is the dextromethorphan based formulation, which is not recommended for pediatric usage. And clearly there, the health ministry has also reacted to the reports that we've been running on India Today, and they have said that they have not found any contamination neither in Madhya Pradesh nor in Rajasthan. And as my colleague was earlier pointing out to us, Sharat, that they have been given a clean chit, all these pharma companies. So the real question remains in the air that what happened, why and what led to the deaths of these 9 children. There needs to be a separate investigation because the NCDC, the ICMR have checked water samples, they've checked blood samples of these children. In the nearby areas, they say there is no other problem in terms of infectious diseases or any sort of outbreak.
No, but Milan, you're saying they're positive for leptospirosis. Now, leptospirosis is what? It's basically a bacterial disease, right? It spreads through urine of infected animals, etc. So then are they conclusively saying that that's the cause? In the case of Madhya Pradesh, the 9 deaths at least, are we to conclude that?
That's what Sonal. So they've said only one sample tested has been found to be positive for leptospirosis. So it doesn't really say what happened to the other children who have died. So one sample does not mean that everybody had the same problem, and more investigation needs to be done. And the government has not really said clearly that everyone had leptospirosis, but one particular sample that went to NIV Pune, the lab that is tasked with looking at infectious diseases in India, has said just one case has happened in that particular area of Parsaria in Chhindwara in Madhya Pradesh. So more investigation is needed, and therefore who killed these children, what happened to their deaths, need to be investigated by the health agencies in India.
Okay, Milan, stay on with us. Sharat, आप भी हमारे साथ बने रहिएगा. Let me get a doctor's perspective here. Dr. Madhavi Bharadwaj is with us. She's a pediatrician. Dr. Bharadwaj, I'm trying to understand this. Is it medically possible that if you consume, say, a full bottle of cough syrup, which is which has DM in it, right? Is it possible? Yes. Is it possible that it can lead to death at all? Is there any formulation of any cough syrup which, if administered in higher dosage, can take away lives of young kids? Is that possible?
So dextromethorphan comes with a disclaimer that it should not be given in kids less than 4 years old because it can cause respiratory depression. Okay, so a child who has lung infection is coughing. You give this cough suppressant. If the child is already borderline, with failing lungs, and you give this cough suppressant, it can worsen the situation or cause, respiratory depression and then ultimately cardiac arrest or death. Yes. But the thing is, probably dextromethorphan usually we do not really give in small kids. It is given in bigger children only. But cough itself is a protective reflex. What I really don't understand is why cough syrups are, available over the counter. It has to be given by a doctor only after prescription in, known and safe dosage only, and for a particular number of days only under a doctor's supervision. If I give a medicine and I want the child to come back to me after 24, 48 hours, it has to be followed like that. So the problem here is a lot of medicines which could be potentially dangerous are available, and then yes, they could be, consumed by small kids. Sometimes a doctor prescribes it in certain case scenario, and then it could be used in a not so fit case scenario.
But Dr. Bharadwaj, in this case, a doctor did prescribe it. In this case, they went to a Sarkari Aspatal, and there in Rajasthan, in the case of Rajasthan at least, and both these kids I just checked are 3 and 5. So why was the cough syrup given is a good question. We should get to that. But second, I want to say it's not like they went and bought it. They went to a Jan Aushadhi Kendra, which is a government Kendra where you are given medicines, where you give a parcha from your doctor, from a Sarkari hospital, you go and they give you free medication. This medication has come through that.
So see, these cases where something bad happens, you really need a good, team investigating the whole thing. Was the child sick, too sick to receive oral medication? Sometimes when you give a safe medicine in a child with respiratory distress, this medicine can directly enter the lungs and, cause a respiratory arrest, cardiac arrest, and then yes, ultimately death. So we really do not know clinically what happened with each child. Without knowing the whole background, it wouldn't be right to blame anybody from my side, because as a doctor I've seen the worst patients also, a stable patient also doing well with some medicine and not. But yes, there are a number of questions, like you are asking why this medicine was given, which was not to be given in smaller kids, then why was it available, why the doctor was giving, but nobody knows what was the case scenario there. Was the child too sick? Was the infection too severe? Any viral infection can involve random other organ systems also, other than the lungs. So we really do not know कि बच्चे का तब clinical status कैसा था. Without knowing the whole picture, it is very difficult to, blame
Got it.
anybody anywhere.
No, that's a good way to look at it. But I want to understand this from you, Dr. Bharadwaj. Since you don't operate in the metros, since you operate in Jalandhar, if I'm not wrong,
No,
since you
Chandigarh, Zirakpur.
in Zirakpur,
To be
in
exact,
Zirakpur,
yes.
great, almost there. So since you operate in Zirakpur and you are perhaps well versed with how perhaps these government centers work, would you say that what is the reality, could you tell us, in terms of the quality of medicines that is administered there? In your own experience, have you found them to be doubtful? Have you ever had to question? We often debate by why doctors are prescribing brands and not generics. Do you have a take on why that happens?
So true. I would say efficacy wise, sometimes I felt probably the medicine is not working as good. Okay. But I am yet to see death or a adverse drug reaction in a OPD or in a, like when I was working in Delhi also in a government hospital, we would go for to these mohalla clinics and give medicines which were available there, right? But I never saw any adverse drug reaction. Yes, efficacy sometimes we questioned ki probably this is under the drug dosage whatever I'm prescribing is not giving adequate effect, probably it is not up to the mark. And yes, we have this inclination ki a good brand would be answerable, they would have good regulation, safety regulation, and probably they are more answerable, so their medicines work better and are safer. But I'm yet to see any deaths. Thank God for that. I really don't want to see any child dying, at least in my OPD work or otherwise. But no, not adverse drug reactions. Such bad drug reactions, never.
You've never seen. But
No.
the reality here is, and what my colleague Sharath was also pointing out, is that there are these same 2 or 3 pharma companies which have failed tests, and their samples have failed tests in the past several times. In fact, he has a number that some 950 samples
So
failed
that
tests
I
for 5 years.
absolutely, yes, Sonal. So I absolutely love the fact that today, with this awareness level, with social media, with you guys doing good work, we need to question these things. If we don't question, probably we will not solve this problem. It will keep on recurring 2 years later, 6 months later. So we need to question everything, present in the loop. Probably the drug company, the whether we should give cough syrups so casually, we need to question ourselves as a doctor as well.
And as
Really,
parents also. I think
as
parents
parents
also
also,
take it
absolutely.
sometimes.
So I was going to come to that. As a mother, like if like she was unwell for 5-7 days, I did not give her any cough syrup, any zukham khansi ka medicine, because she was manageable. See, every zukham khansi cough, a single sneeze does not need a quick fix. If your child is coughing probably 5 to 6 times a day, in the night they cough occasionally, but you put some saline drops, make them comfortable, safely give them steam, and put them close to you, keep feeding your baby. Hydration activity is fine. You stay put, or you stay under your doctor's follow up. Do not rush to medicines. Really, human body is built beautifully. It repairs
That's
itself.
actually an excellent advice, and just the update that we are getting, just hold on to us. There's more news and update coming on the issue of cough syrups, this time from the Union Health Ministry, the advisory that has just come in. Let's tell you a little bit about that. The Union Health Ministry now has issued a issued an advisory giving cough syrups to children less than 5 years. Now, the DGHS, that's the Director General of Health Services in the Union Ministry of Health, that's basically the health department here in the center, has issued an advisory to all states and union territories to rationalize the use of cough syrups in pediatric population. Just exactly what we were discussing. Finally, an advisory has come in from the Union Health Ministry. And Dr. Bharadwaj, like I was saying, exactly what the government has sort of taken note of. This has sadly happened after the death of 9, in fact 11 kids now cut across 2 states. But we've been reporting even yesterday that the best practices advised by WHO, by CDC, by the American Society of Pediatrics, they all say that kids below 6 years of age do not need cough syrup. It does nothing to them, it damages them even more. So while this advisory is welcome, I really want to understand why doctors are still prescribing it, even in the government setups.
No, so again, the introspection needs to be done at all levels. So if you ask me the ground reality, if you ask me as a doctor, I'm a mother and I told you my case scenario, but as a doctor, if I write only one medicine, they'll tell me, ये डॉक्टर तो दवाई नहीं लिखता है, मैडम एंटीबायोटिक तो दे ही दो, जुकाम खांसी है तो I would give one probably some anti-allergic which will decrease the phlegm production. They would say खांसी का दवाई नहीं लिखा आपने. So it has to be on both sides. Doctors need to introspect and the patients need to trust the process and be patient for at least 7 to 10 days. That the viral or whatever cold cough has happened to the child will take 1 to 2 weeks for them to recover. But patience has to be there. We cannot quick fix your child's cough and cold in 2 days with any medicine. It is just a placebo effect. You as parent are thinking मैं कुछ तो दवाई दे रहा हूँ. So the effect will come in a couple of days. The effect will still come even if you do not give these cough syrups. See, cough syrups have so many, one is a suppressant, another is a mucolytic, another suppresses at throat ka level, just soothes the throat. So there are so many, branches to type of cough syrups too. Mostly जो cough syrups हम देते हैं और जादू की तरह effect आता है, they suppress your respiratory center. It suppresses the cough reflex as well, which is a protective reflex. Why do you want to suppress it? Why do you want the cough to go in one day? What is cough trying to do? Whatever the phlegm or obstruction is there in child's airway, the cough is trying to release it or take it out of the system. Why do you want to suppress it? So I think we need to rethink about how we are, treating our kids, both at the level of a parent, as a parent and as a doctor. As well.
Hold on to that thought, Dr. Bharadwaj. Let me quickly get a word from both Milan and Sharath then. Milan, we saw that update coming in from the Union Health Ministry. Finally, after the death of 11 kids, they seem to be having given an advisory which should actually be the norm. Like Dr. Bharadwaj also said, it's perhaps too late for them to be even sending it across. But does this mean that sale also will be impacted of these brands? So far, we knew that this particular brand was prohibited in Rajasthan. In Madhya Pradesh, has ban on any of these drugs taken place at all?
Well, Sonal, the two medicines that we are talking about, especially in the case of Madhya Pradesh, is Coldriff and the other one is Nextro DX. And they contain a separate salt. This is not dextromethorphan, it's a separate salt altogether, which also contains, generic salts and a mixture of that. So, yes, the government has banned them as a precautionary measure, but I think what the doctor was saying is clearly the norm that should be and is now being given as an advisory. Children less than age of 5 should not be administered cough syrups ad nauseum. There should be analysis done and diagnosis has to be done properly because obviously all the cough syrups, they contain certain kind of chemicals, solvents, etc. that could cause kidney injuries. Even in the case of Coldriff, it has been mentioned in the medicine as well that the dosage of the medicine should be lesser. And we have to investigate whether these doctors were quacks or not qualified enough, and Chhindwara happens to be a very rural area in Madhya Pradesh. How was these medicines prescribed to these, unsuspecting parents? And of course, parents also needs to be sensitized as to not give their children cough syrups whenever they fall sick immediately. But certainly, the government also needs to ban pharma companies as well as ban raw material suppliers who give these kind of cough syrups in the market there, and onus should be put on the State Drug Controller Authority as well as the Central Drug Controller Authority.
Let me get a quick word from Sharat as well. Sharat जी, अब हमने जैसे कहा है 4 दिन हो गए हैं, इस खबर को हम कॉन्स्टेंटली दिखा रहे हैं, सरकार फाइनली अब कुछ एक्शन के साथ निकल कर आई है। राजस्थान में तो उन्होंने एक डॉक्टर को, एक फार्मासिस्ट को उन्होंने सस्पेंड कर दिया है, बट अभी इसके अलावा कुछ आगे बात पहुंच नहीं पाई है। एक तो हो गया इसमें अवेयरनेस कैंपेन जो हम ऑलरेडी कर रहे हैं इंडिया टुडे पर कि भाई 6 साल से छोटे बच्चों को कॉफ सिरप देना ही नहीं है। आप अपने प्लीज़ डॉक्टर से पूछें, केमिस्ट के पास जाके खुद एडमिनिस्टर ना करें, अपने बच्चों को खुद ना दें। लेकिन इसके अलावा जिस तरह से पूरा जो सेटअप है, हेल्थ मिनिस्टर है राजस्थान के, बाकी के सीनियर ऑफिशियल्स हैं, वो भागते फिर रहे हैं इस सवाल से, उससे समझ में तो यही आ रहा है कि कोई और मामला है।
देखिए, डेक्स्ट्रामोर्फोन की जहाँ तक बात है कि यहाँ पर जो हिंटरलैंड है, जो ग्रामीण इलाके हैं, वहाँ पर ये घटनाएं हुई है। और कल से राजस्थान सरकार 1 सप्ताह तक पूरा जन जागरण अभियान चलाएगी, गांव-गांव जाएंगे हेल्थ कर्मचारी बताने के लिए कफ सिरप का यूज कैसे करें। हमने आज दिन भर ग्राउंड रिपोर्ट किया है सोनल और जैसलमेर से लेकर जयपुर तक। आप देखिएगा कि वहाँ पर फार्मासिस्ट ही नहीं है, डॉक्टर ही नहीं है, CHO कम्युनिटी हेल्थ ऑफिसर जो होते हैं होम्योपैथ के, आयुर्वेद के, डेंटिस्ट कहीं हैं, जो जनरल नर्सिंग एंड मिडवाइफरी हैं, वो निकाल के ये जो प्रतिबंधित सरकार कह रही है वो दे रहे हैं। अब बताइए कि डॉक्टर हम कह रहे हैं कि डॉक्टर प्रिस्क्राइब नहीं करना चाहिए। यहाँ तो जो नर्सिंग स्टाफ है उन्हें दिया गया दवाई बांटने के लिए, उसकी जिम्मेदारी किसकी है? मैंने हेल्थ जो डायरेक्टर है यहाँ पर रवि शर्मा, उनको दिखाया कि आप देखिए आपके डॉक्टर ने लिखा कोल्ड सिरप। अब कोल्ड सिरप में तो वो जो कंपाउंडर बैठा है वहाँ कोई फार्मासिस्ट तो है नहीं, कुछ भी निकाल के दे देगा। हमने दिखाया उनको किस तरह से आपका CHO जो होम्योपैथ का डॉक्टर है वो डेक्स्ट्रोमॉर्फिन के जो शीशियां हैं उसके कमरे में रखी हुई है बांटने के लिए।
होम्योपैथिक डॉक्टर के
इसमें क्या गलती है? ये तो हत्या जो हुई है वो सरकारी सिस्टम की वजह से हुई है। बिल्कुल, हमने एक डेंटिस्ट को कहा, उन्होंने कहा कि हम डेंटिस्ट हैं, हम दे नहीं सकते क्या? हम कहने आप बिल्कुल दे सकती हैं, डॉक्टर हैं, लेकिन आप यहाँ पर एक डॉक्टर हो तो ज़्यादा बेहतर होता। उन्होंने कहा डॉक्टर छुट्टी पर है, डेंटिस्ट भी खांसी दवा या बुखार की दवा तो दे ही सकता है। तो आप देखिए आप किस तरह से वो कैमरे पर कह रहे हैं कि हम CHO हैं, कम्युनिटी हेल्थ ऑफिसर हैं, और वो इस दवाई को दे रहे हैं। तो ये पूरे सिस्टम ने इस बच्चे को किल किया है। आप ग्राउंड पर चले जाइए, वहाँ डॉक्टर है नहीं बहुत सारी जगहों पर, जैसलमेर, बाड़मेर, जहाँ पर ये दवाइयाँ बिक रही हैं। सरकार भाग रही है इसीलिए कि आप कंपनी को क्लीन चिट दे रहे हो तो खुद फंस रहे हो, क्योंकि खुद आप बांट क्यों रहे थे? आप जो जांच रिपोर्ट आई है उस रिपोर्ट में क्या लिखा है पता है आपको? सुना, लिखा है कि डॉक्टर साहब रोटी खा रहे थे तो जो फार्मासिस्ट था वो निकाल के दवाई दे दिया क्योंकि मरीज को जल्दी हो रहा था और इसलिए पी के उसकी तबीयत खराब हो गई। अब इस तरह की तो जांच रिपोर्ट आएगी तो सरकारी सिस्टम इसके जिम्मेदार हैं, इसीलिए ये भाग रहे हैं।
पर अभी भी इस सवाल का किसी के पास जवाब नहीं है कि अगर वो कफ सिरप में कोई प्रॉब्लम नहीं थी तो बच्चों का चलिए केस हटा दीजिए, पेरेंट्स ने अगर हम 1 मिनट के लिए मान भी लें ज़्यादा दे दिया है, तो वो जो सीनियर ऑफिशियल थे वहाँ पर, जो डॉक्टर थे, वो क्यों बेहोश हो गए? वो कफ सिरप पीने के बाद क्यों बेहोश हो गए अगर वो अडल्टरेटेड नहीं थी? इसका जवाब अभी भी सरकारी के कोई भी रिपोर्ट, कोई भी उसको बता नहीं पाया है, जिस पर ज़रूर नज़र रखिएगा। शरद जी, अभी के लिए बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद हमें ज्वाइन करने के लिए और इस पूरी खबर पर इतनी अच्छी से नज़र रखने के लिए। मिलन, यू एज वेल, थैंक यू सो मच फॉर ब्रिंगिंग अस ऑल दोज डिटेल्स। बट यू नो, हियर्स अ स्टोरी. The outrage over contaminated cough syrups in children's death is loud but often short-lived. India's so-called killer cough syrups have made headlines across the world. 2 Indian pharma companies stand accused of exposing contaminated syrups that killed kids even abroad. Yet, back home, they continue to be doing business, almost as if nothing happened. Take the Maiden Pharmaceuticals based out of Haryana, for instance. The company exported cough syrups to Gambia, where later links of deaths came out of at least 70 kids who died. The WHO raised a global alarm over these toxic solvents and serious quality lapses. But in India, Made in Pharma was given a clean chit. No penalty was imposed, and the company continues its business as usual. Then there is the cases of Marion Biotech, operating out of Delhi NCR. Its syrups exported to Uzbekistan were linked to 65 deaths of children. Authorities suspended the company's license after finding documentation failures and later cancelled it as well. An FIR was filed, some employees were arrested, but once again, the business still runs through its other divisions. And here lies the bigger problem. Export violations routinely slip through regulatory cracks. Domestic agencies stop monitoring once the drug leaves Indian shores. When deaths happen abroad, jurisdictional loopholes shield companies from even prosecution back at home. The harshest action usually stops at suspending licenses. Rarely any criminal charges are attached. In many cases, it is the raw material supplies and the suppliers who are penalized, while the big pharma companies escape with their reputation dented, but their business pretty much intact. That's the problem. That's the heart of the issue that we need to address. And no advisory from the government is going to bring an end to this pharma menace that we've got our eyes on. The sudden and tragic death of a beloved singer and youth icon of one sorts in the northeast, Zubeen Garg, has left Assam and his fans around the world in deep sorrow. As probe continues to intensify to identify the events leading up to his death and reveal the exact cause, let's take a look at the key events that have actually unfolded since that heartbreaking day. So what happened? It all started on September 19th. Zubeen Garg died during a yacht, it was a yacht outing of sorts, if you can call it, in Singapore. The initial cause of death was declared as drowning. In response, Assam quickly declared 3 days of state mourning to honor the legendary singer and his immense contribution to music and otherwise as well. By September 22nd, with some questions emerging around the circumstances of his death, the Assam government ordered a second post-mortem on Zubeen's body to ensure a thorough investigation. His wife, of course, said yes, and it was done. On the 23rd then, Zubeen Garg's final rites were held with full state honors. Thousands of fans, friends, well-wishers came together to pay their last respect during the funeral procession, making a poignant moment of collective grief. In fact, reports go on to say that a congregation of that sort, so many people didn't even get together when we had icons like Lata Mangeshkar pass out. It's been compared to how people and the number of people who got together being compared to what happened during the Jackson time and otherwise. So it's a massive gathering. And that's when a lot of flip seems to have happened. Then the case took a more serious turn. On September 24th, a special investigation team, or an SIT, was formed to look deeper into the circumstances surrounding his death. The very next day, the CID concluded and raids were carried out at the homes of Zubeen's manager, Siddhartha Sharma, and the festival organizer, Shamakanu Mahanta. The SIT and the CID continued their investigation over the next few days, and 2 days later, in fact, just about 2 days ago from now actually, on the 1st of October, both Siddhartha and Mahanta were arrested by the Assam police. They were also charged with murder and sent to 14 days of custody. You see how quickly they managed to whip up evidence, how quickly they managed to investigate and put things in order enough to sort of put them in custody altogether. And then the probe expanded further yesterday, when the singer Mahanta and the musician there, Shekhar Goswami, were also arrested and grilled by the SIT for 7 hours. And now, the Singapore police has handed over Zubeen Garg's autopsy report to India and confirmed their full cooperation with the investigation. Authorities here are now widening the probe and pursuing the murder charges. So far, it was just an unfortunate death. Now, it's a full-fledged alleged murder. This remains very sensitive and a complex case, and it continues to unfold every day. Zubeen Garg's wife, Garima, in an exclusive interview to India Today, also spoke about his death and raised some disturbing questions about negligence and that she believes what exactly led to his passing. She says that Zubeen was visibly exhausted that day. He had a medical condition. Doctors had warned him, no water, no fire, no driving as well. And yet, he was taken to that yacht party, what looked like a yacht party. Those videos are everywhere now. We'll play them up for you also in a bit. And he was allowed to swim. She says allowed to swim without a life jacket. But in the videos, if you see, he jumped in twice, once with the life jacket, once without. Now, Garima is, of course, heartbroken and angry. She goes on to say, why was my husband treated like this? She also asks, adding that there were no medical help, no security, and that such negligence is just unforgivable. As the investigation deepens, so do the questions, and so does the grief. But how much of it is actually true? Is it getting politicized in any way? Is the fact that there were so many young people affected by this story, that there are different colors that could be given to it? We'll explore all of that. Let me bring on my colleague next on the program. With me is now Kaushik. He's the executive editor for India Today magazine. Kaushik, just help us unpack the story, please. On day one, when we reported about the story, and that's the video we're talking about, the first jump he made was with the life jacket, the other one without it. It was a simple case of drowning. How has this simple case of drowning now, in a matter of just a week or so, turned into a full-fledged alleged murder?
Ever since he died, when the news came to Assam, most people in Assam, they were demanding an investigation into his death, because their primary allegation was that why Zubeen was taken to Singapore, knowing that for last 2-3 years he was very unwell, he was in and out of hospital. So in that context, why he was taken abroad and allowed to perform, and then he was taken to water, because as Garima has mentioned, doctors had said that he should not go near water, fire, and he should not drive because he was having seizures. That there had been some 5-6 episodes of seizure. It's in public domain. So what Garima yesterday said, most people in Assam, they are saying the same thing. So it was a part of negligence on the part of the people who organized the event, that Shamkanu Mahanta, and the people who took him to the yacht. That has been the primary demand. So the government initiated investigation right in the very beginning. The CM took initiative, and it was decided that an SIT was formed, and they asked for the autopsy report from Singapore. In fact, when the people in Assam, they said that the autopsy report in Singapore would not do, there should be an autopsy done in Guwahati itself. So his cremation was delayed by a day and autopsy was conducted.
Do we know what did that autopsy say?
So both,
did it infer?
No, not yet. It hasn't been made public. There had been some social media post of that Singapore autopsy, which said that it's a case of drowning. Unofficial sources, when I contacted Singapore people, most of them have said that it's a case of drowning.
But the autopsy happened a few days ago. They should be able to make it public, no?
Yes, they should be able to, but it would be sent to the government, and it will be made public probably soon. So the curious case is that the day the autopsy report was handed over to Indian government, that very day the government slapped murder charges on Shamkanu Mahanta and Siddharth Sharma, because before that it was culpable homicide not amounting to murder, causing death by negligence, which most people in Assam were saying. But now there have been a speculation that there could have been a kind of conspiracy to take Zubeen to water, knowing that he is unwell, and could have been a conspiracy behind which is now speculated as murder. But all these things should be very clear once the investigation is complete. It would be very unfair on our part to make any judgments, because we have seen in the past. But I can tell you, many people can ask why the government is taking this action, why government is thinking that it's a murder, when probably it was a clear case of drowning. I believe what has happened in the past in our neighborhood, say for instance in Bangladesh and in Nepal, the Gen Z generation, Zubeen was called a heartthrob in Assam, and he had tremendous following among the Gen Z. The moment the Gen Z is agitated, so no government would take any risk with the sentiments. So I believe the government is taking the right path. It has initiated an investigation so that there is a clear understanding of what exactly had happened, and the government can respond to the public sentiment that it's taking, it's fulfilling their demands, that there is a clear investigation into.
I think that's the key. You
Yes.
seem to be suggesting that government has taken the public sentiment in mind, and that's why a thorough investigation is being carried out. But how much of it is actually truth or not? Because I'm not seeing any reports out in public. Let me bring on Rijoy Das, who joins us, my colleague from Guwahati. Rijoy, what exactly is the status of this second autopsy? What does it say compared to what Singapore said? Because that is pretty conclusive so far, right? That they said it's no foul play, it's a clear case of drowning. And what is the Indian autopsy report saying? And importantly, why is it still under wraps?
Yeah, so as per sources, what we are getting is that the autopsy report from Singapore has shown no case of foul play, and the Indian autopsy, the second autopsy, which has been done on September after just hours before the cremation of Zubeen Garg, this autopsy report is also, the government is also trying to find out if there is any foul play, but the autopsy reports is not showing any kind of sign of foul play yet. But we cannot confirm this until and unless a valid report comes out. But there are no foul play as per now, and Zubeen Garg reportedly died because of drowning. And also, the latest development that we are getting is that Siddharth Goswami, Shekhar Jyoti Goswami, sorry, the drummer of Zubeen Garg, and Amrit Prabha Mohanto has been arrested by CID, and they have been produced in a special court, but they are given 14-day judicial custody. And the most important part is that the thing that we are getting is that Amrit Prabha was the one who was she was releasing the videos of Zubeen Garg's last moments in social media. So these are the all details that we are getting as of now.
So, Rijoy, importantly, you're saying even the Indian autopsy report that happened, you're saying it has not found any foul play. So, I'm trying to understand on what basis are these arrests being made? What is the basis? What is the evidence? They took just about 2 days to make a lot of these arrests. 4 people have been arrested. 2 autopsies have been done. But do we know any linkage? Do we know any connection, any evidence at all?
See, many things are clouded in this case, but the CID and SIT has imposed some sections of the BNS for murder charges against the 4 arrested, and they will be they are as you know, they are being produced in the like special court where they are given 14 days judicial remand. And the thing that is very interesting is that the CID has already questioned the drummer Shekhar Jyoti Goswami initially, but he was let go. But now he has been arrested again. So there are few things which are still clouded, but we are trying to get down, and we are trying to get the details as soon as possible for our viewers.
All right, Kaushik, let me come back to you then. You see the dilemma. No evidence, no autopsy report. We don't even know why the connections, but 4 arrests. Is this, so the question is very simple. Are we trying to just cater into a public sentiment? Is the government doing that? If not, and this is just in the realm of speculation, of course, if not, then they should be able to put out the evidence. No, why are they hiding it? Why is the autopsy report also not out?
No, the government is not hiding. The autopsy report from Singapore came yesterday. I believe that has been handed over to Garima, and that should be made public, of course. And the autopsy report from the Guwahati Medical College, I believe it hasn't come yet. I believe the Assam CM is making a statement at 6 p.m. today, and the whole investigation, the whole process, as I have mentioned, is to not leave anything to the realm of speculation, so that the public sentiment is satisfied and nobody can question the establishment that it's trying to shield anyone which have been found not guilty but accused of doing something wrong to Zubeen. And perhaps after Garima made that serious allegation that she suspects foul play, it's very important for the government to cater to her sentiment and to public sentiment, because things can go haywire. As I mentioned, that when Gen Z is involved, every politician is very cautious these days.
Absolutely. But Kaushik, explain one more thing to me. Zubeen's wife has had a back and forth a little bit on her understanding of the manager's role here. Could you just spell that out for us as well, because that's also a little dubious.
Yeah, it was very surprising. Initially, she had made an appeal to people that please do not harm Siddharth, and please let him come to take part in the funeral. And then later, as yesterday to our interview, she said that she suspects foul play, and she mentions almost everyone involved in the yacht and those who accompanied Zubeen to that place. Maybe over a period of time, from the time she made that appeal to now, she probably has got hold of some information, or she found details of financial transactions or something more. Maybe that's why she is making all these allegations, and she is expecting the government and the police forces to do a clean investigation into his death. She probably wants a closure, because lots of videos are coming. The account that she gave, that she was not allowed to see Zubeen over video and all those things.
Got it.
Now that she has got into a sense, or there is some calm around, because she was surrounded by too many people
Got
at
it.
that time.
Got it.
So probably in a relaxed environment, she is now piecing together all the puzzles. In
Well,
the
here's hoping
game.
that justice comes out real quick, like we've been saying. 4 arrests have been made, 2 autopsies have been done, but there's no clarity, there's no link, there's no evidence that has been put out. We really want to know what that is all about. And at the end of the day, what anybody wants is a clean investigation to understand, not pandering to one thought or a process, or not pandering even to the public, but to understand the truth, nothing but the truth.